Many things to do.
I think John's gonna join us, huh?
Where
Here.
he didn't get on.
Oh, he said he wanted to join us. I thought he meant on
Well,
Discord. Maybe.
he
Maybe he
needs
just
to.
meant Facebook.
Well, he's not ready.
He said his
We
morning opened up. I might have misunderstood his message, but
Not sure. What's up, Profitable Stylist? Here we go this week. We are talking about social media, word of mouth advertising, growing business, the ins and outs of all of these things. And we're going to try to dissect it in a way where it's going to make more sense. Whether you're advanced in your journey in building a business, whether you're just getting into it in the beginning, and you're still of a newbie, whatever your level is, you're going to be able to get something out of this. Bernard is going to spearhead most of this conversation because he knows more than I do when it comes to social media, which is going to be great because then I'm going to be able to answer some questions from my limited knowledge. I'm going to be able to share a little bit of my journey of what I've been learning about social media, and then we'll be able to grow the conversation from there as well too. So this is going to be fun. I am looking forward to this. I will
yeah.
say this up front. I have been extremely resistant to social media, very outspoken against it. I personally do not enjoy doing it. So my growth from being absolutely against it to now accepting it to trying to enjoy doing it has been a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I like that you say that, and I don't know if it's been good or bad, but I have talked a few friends into. No, first of all, there was a time where I hated it too. I remember when Facebook was kind of new. That's how old I am, and I'm laying on the sofa watching my wife request and accept friends, and I would make fun of her, and I would be like, "Do you not have enough friends? I mean, you're not a loser." Well, and I looked at it as like, what? If I feel, do you feel like a loser and you need to beg these people? She goes, no, it's just communication. And I just didn't get it. And I really, really judged harshly on it for a while, probably where you are now. So I think everybody in the very beginning, before they accept it, goes through that. And the thing that Gary Vaynerchuk said that really changed my opinion about all this, even after I was kind of deep into it, and I have to admit, where I ended up doing was being like, okay, I don't need friends or more friends. I'm not doing it to beg for friends, but I want to grow my business, and I think it's on social media, so maybe I got to give it a try. That's kind of where my heart was. But what Gary Vaynerchuk said was word of mouth advertising is not dead. Some people think word of mouth is dead because of the internet and
Oh,
and the telephone. I mean, when the telephone came out, people freaked out, right? When the telephone came out, they said people are never going to leave their homes if they can just talk over the wire. Why would they ever go face to face? This is going to just ruin the planet. Nobody's going to ever leave their homes now that they got TV and telephones. And then it didn't ruin the planet. Then the internet was going to ruin the planet. Then Facebook, well, MySpace was going to ruin the planet. And so now with social media, yes, there's a lot of bad that comes with social media, but there's a whole lot more good. And Gary Vaynerchuk said word of mouth is not dead. It's just through social media now. And I was like, oh, what a great point. It's so talking to people about like when I do somebody's hair, when they go home or leave the salon, what happened before that I hoped happened. They'd tell a few friends. A friend would say, I love your hair. And they would say, who did it? And they'd say, Bernard. Where's Bernard? Now they leave the salon and they snap a few pictures in the car. And they tell 200 or 300 or 400 friends immediately that their hair looks great. And so word of mouth is not dead. Word of mouth it just spreads faster.
It's changed how it's done.
It's changed how word of mouth happens. And it also has increased the good or the bad. Again, you do a bad job on somebody, sometimes it would take a while for reputation to get around. And I was always very cautious, like, don't do a bad job in extensions. If you get a bad name in a small town, it's a lot harder to shake that off than in a big town. And so I always made sure I did a great job on anything out of pride for my work. I had pride and cared about people and their feelings, and I would never think about doing a bad job as a con or a scam, but I didn't even want it to accidentally happen where somebody or having a bad day or being tired. I'd be don't slack a little, because then later people will talk about you, and then it's going to hurt your business in the future. And in a big town, you can get away with it. Now with social media, that's sped up. Also, you do something bad, everybody knows about it right away, and you don't even have a chance to turn it around as quickly or easily. But if you do, you can speed up the good side of it also. So I don't think social media, just like money, I don't think it's good or bad. It's just a tool that you can use. And so I remember when texting first came out, and I told a friend, he was against it completely. I said, well, you might as well just give up the relationship with your children. And he said, what? And he had 5 kids, you know. And I said, yeah, your kids are all texting each other. And I know how good of a dad you are, and I know how much you want to communicate with them. They're all communicating with each other. They want to communicate with you. A text is like a postcard that you can send, boom, immediately. Just a quick thank you. I mean, of course, now we have full conversations and read books from each other. But I mean, in the beginning, it was more like just quick little words. Thank you, love you. And so
you want to know actually where that started from, Bernard?
What? What started?
Okay, this is my little thing. You remember collect calls? You know, would you like to accept a call from
the prison?
And so it would go like this. Would you like to accept a collect call from Mom? Come pick me up. I'm ready. And it would be like, no, I refuse the charges. You know, 20 minutes later, your mom would show up and pick you up.
That's funny.
So that was like the original, that to me was like the original thing before pagers and beepers and stuff like that. Still payphones.
Right. So immediately this friend of mine got it. He was like, he sent postcards all the time, and he loved his children and communicating with his kids. And he realized he was missing it by not doing it. Now he's a big texter. And a few of my friends I convinced like that. So with social media, unfortunately, I had to be one of the ones that was convinced from a friend, like, you're falling behind. You're falling behind. That is the future. It's the now. It's the future. It's how people communicate. If you don't want to do it, well, you're just going to miss out on something that's bigger. That's how people find out about things. We would be at a hair show promoting a product, and they're like, you know, every single booth here has a big following on multiple social medias, and you guys don't. You know, Jude was the one that kind of pointed that out. He's like, you guys think that this is where the business is? No, this is where a small percentage of the people come, but the big percentage is in and on social media. And these people that are here are finding you on social media and going to look and going like, oh, you only got a few hundred friends. You're a nothing company. You're a nobody. So they're even judging you. That's sort of your what do you call it? Like your social currency.
Social proofing, social currency, yeah.
Social proofing, social currency. That's like the proof that you are somebody. If nobody's following you on social media, you are a nobody. And it's sad, but true in some of these cases. So with all that said, I started a little bit of a journey a few years ago trying to figure out, where should I start? And I talked a little bit about it on Facebook a little while ago, so I'm going to kind of summarize here. Some of you guys can go back to, I know you can't because it's a private group. Never mind. I'll have to describe it a little bit more here.
Get educated so then you can become part of our private group.
I know. That was a shameless plug.
If you're a certified hairdresser, that is. Yeah.
If you're certified in on-stage hair extensions or she hair extensions, then you'd be a part of my your
not she hair extensions. We don't want any more keratin bond users. We are not promoting K-tips.
Yes, we Oh man, you just can't figure it out, can you? You want to
hit the subscribe button twice.
Listen, let me see if you can. Let me see if you can see this right here. This is she hair and color 103. This color 103 is like a warm blonde. We haven't had this in months. It's one of the most beautiful blondes, and I put it next to a few other popular blondes. Oh man, I messed it all up. I put it next to a couple of the more popular blondes: 59, 101, 1000, and 1001.
1001 at the end.
Yeah, so we got some platinums here, a little bit of gold, a little bit of brown in the blonde. It's more of an ashier blonde, but not as ashy as the white.
More like a beigey.
Yeah, and then this Right, this is more like a beige blonde, but this one literally is a little more warm, this 103. We haven't had it in a long time. We just got it in, and I don't know if we'll get it again as quick as we'd like because it was back ordered for a while. So we did a video yesterday that we'll be posting on Monday showing people. This is a little preview. I laid this out, and I was kind of doing a video yesterday and editing yesterday evening. RJ's trying to decide if he liked the video I made, and we might make another one. But that's she hair, so we're still promoting it. It's just that it just seems like when somebody likes the on-stage hair, Eddie can't let them leave the room without also telling them about she hair, just confusing them more. So let's go back to social media. You have to. I can't say that any one social media is the right one or the better one, but with a lot of research and trying to figure out which one I should start on, because I can't do them all. I can't, and you can't start on all of them necessarily unless you have a team to help you, which I have now. But in the beginning, it's like, do you do Facebook? Do you do Instagram? That's kind of the two bigger ones. I mean, even people considering WhatsApp a social media platform, YouTube, TikTok, I guess Snapchat's still around pretty strong. And it's
Discord is a social media platform.
Discord, yeah. So which one do you do? And the big thing I want to say about Facebook and Instagram is a lot of people would argue Instagram and TikTok are the newer, younger platforms. But so TikTok is not run is run from out of this country and is on the fritz from time to time. Like, let's shut it down. It's spying on our people. We're not friendly with that country. And so that kind of gives me a little scare, like, God, what could they just shut a whole social media app down, boom, and all your followers gone? So that scares me a little bit. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying if you do it, be on another platform also. And then Instagram and Facebook, the way they grow separately is Jude was explained to me, Jude the karate guy. That's what I'm going to start coining that phrase.
That's his name now?
Yeah, Jude the karate guy. Jude said, which is the one who's been teaching me a lot about social media. I'll watch a lot of YouTube videos also. He was saying that Instagram grows more through hashtags and similar likes, which could be nationwide or worldwide, whereas Facebook tends to grow through friends of friends, more on a local business region. So for my hairdressers, for my local brick and mortar businesses, you're trying to grow a business, you start off with your personal profile of friends that are usually all locally. And when you start what we'll get into in a minute, when you start your business page or private group or public group, those pages and groups start off with saying, would you like to invite people to this page? You open a new page and they say, and this is something you should do right away, Eddie, you should go to your page when you get off here or your group and go where it says invite friends. Are you looking for friends? It's like, I guess so. Do you need friends, Eddie? And you say, are you looking for friends? And you say yes. And then where do you think it gets these friends to recommend to you? It figures, well, if they liked you on your personal profile, maybe, well, they don't like you. They accept your friend requests. That's how it started at some point. You accepted or they accepted. Somebody friend requested somebody, and you got this 300, 400, or 1,000 friends on Facebook. So when you do a page and a group, the very first thing it says is, do you want to invite anybody to join this thing? And the first people that they're going to populate to join it is an admin, which is you who opened the group, and any other admins you have. It's going to link your personal profile friends and make a list. And you're going to click invite. And maybe you just invite the people that should be in that page or group, because that's where it starts. Maybe this page or group is just hair related. Maybe you're a mechanic and you're just doing the friends that like working on cars, So, and so you go through and you pick them if you know them. And if you're just trying to grow your group and you don't know them, maybe you invite them anyway, who knows? But you make that decision and you invite. And that's where it starts. Then people start to hear about your page or your group and may join it. But pages and groups are grown through people liking it. You can invite them to like it, but people don't as easily like a page or group as they do a personal profile. And that's something we didn't clarify just yet. So my argument was, Jude the karate guy convinced me that if I had a brick and mortar local business, Facebook was the best place to start if I was going to learn one. But then within Facebook, they had personal profile, page, and group. And then reels or shorts. I don't remember what they call the short videos. I mean, one platform calls them reels, one calls them shorts. They're all very similar. They're all copying off Instagram and TikTok. I think TikTok started it. And those little short videos or long videos. And so you got to kind of, even within Facebook, decide to kind of focus. And for me, at first, it was just on those three. And I wouldn't even recommend most people out there open or start a group until you have a reason to, or kind of master the first two. But you want to kind of tell what you know about the three with the advantages and disadvantages of each one?
You're
Start with the profile.
The three social medias or the three profiles
Facebook.
within Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
just Facebook. Okay. So Facebook, I have my personal page. That's where I talk about my personal life and I talk about
Correct
myself.
you along the way. Personal profile.
What did I say?
Personal page.
Oh, excuse me. Personal profile.
Oh, I've been doing this for a
I
while.
gotta get this in my head, right?
Yeah.
So my personal profile
Yep.
is where I talk about specifically about myself and that's where I take my food pics and my poop pics and I share that with the world and everybody likes it and comments.
All
I have
your
enough
family
fiber in my
stuff.
diet. Yeah. So then
Yes.
now my personal page is where I say, I'm going to be in the salon this week. Come check me out. I have an opening at 6:00. Look at this hair extension I just did. It's amazing, right?
Conversely, you should not talk about business and money on your personal profile because it's meant to be a friend, family related, just a friendly thing minus the business. That's the whole reason Facebook came up with the pages, was to separate businesses from individuals.
Makes sense. Like on my page, I said I'm taking Thursday off. I will not be in on Thursday. On my personal profile, I said I'm going to Guns N' Roses concert on Thursday. Freaking excited, right? It's gonna rock. Like, this is awesome.
Perfect. Yeah.
Right? That's the right way how to say that.
That's perfect. And you could cross-contaminate them a little bit. You could say
cross-contaminate them a little bit.
Because it kind of is. And so Jude had to really break it down for me, because I do care about people, but it doesn't seem like it sometimes because I'm so money motivated. My brain thinks about when I'm going to do something, even a hobby. Like, I keep honeybees for fun. But the first thing I think about is, could it be profitable?
Okay. So then let me ask you this way. So then I would say, just did Carmelina's hair for Guns N' Roses concert. Check out concert hair, hashtag concert hair or fun day or whatever the hell the hashtag would be for it, right? And then I could put that on my page to advertise that, look at this special event type of hair that I'm doing. And then I'm personally also sharing the fact that I'm going to have some fun, so I'm not going to be at the shop.
Yeah, and you can
does
say
that work?
Right. Yeah, and I mean, there's no rules, but that is kind of the socially acceptable way to, like, I mean, people do it wrong all the time. People say, especially hairdressers, they're like, I have a 10 a.m. and a 2 p.m. open tomorrow for a foil highlight and a haircut, specific amount of time and money needs to be spent. And what Jude was telling me is that's a turnoff. People don't want to hear about money. And now hairdressers, already, we've done a video about this before. Remember, we did a video about, like, we do hair at Christmas and Thanksgiving at people's homes. So hairdressers can get away with it a little bit more than most businesses can, because people already expect us to love and live. We live our job, So we get away with it, and a lot of them do it, and that's why you see it a lot. But technically, if you fix computers for a living, you're not saying, come get your computer fixed by me on your personal profile. If you fix lawnmowers, they do it because I see it all the time. Like, hey, my husband fixes lawnmowers for a living. Bring your lawnmowers to us in blah, blah, blah neighborhood. And and people will sometimes berate them and say, hey, this is a family environment. This is a profile environment. You're not supposed to promote your business here. Start yourself a Facebook page for that. And so what Jude says is, every 4 or 5 or 6 posts, you might say something about work, but it shouldn't be about promoting or growing your business. It should be more like bragging about what you do at work because you love your job. Because loving your job and doing a good job at your job is part of your personal profile life. That's part of your life. I love going to work. I love doing this. I love doing hair. I love going to a Guns N' Roses concert. So yeah, you can love your work, but you shouldn't post like a menu and prices on your
that
personal profile.
that's for the page.
Yeah. And so the page, the sad thing about the page, but we are there, is more like, in the best descriptive word, one word answer I have for a page is it's like a website. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't even have websites anymore for their businesses. As a matter of fact, Jude didn't have one for quite a while, and he's very successful in the karate world, but his Facebook page was his website, basically. I mean, you have to have somewhere on the internet, on the internet that people can say, oh, I met Eddie. Who is Eddie? Eddie is a something educator for what company? They get a company name. They want to type in the company name on Google, and what pops up? And usually it would be a website, but it can be a Facebook page. And sometimes all of these things pop up: the website, the Facebook page, and the YouTube channel. And some people will say, I like YouTube better. So it's nice to have them all. But if you just type in Bernard Ori, hair extensions, and all you saw was a Facebook page and you clicked on it, that might be enough to help somebody understand what I can do for them, or who I am and what they're wanting out of me. And it might then, at the page, list the classes I teach and the description, what I'm all about, what I like to do in my work and business life. And then the post would be some things about classes we're going to teach. Well, here's the big sad part about this page. This is the only this is the only place on Facebook that you pay to play, or can pay to play. You'll see where it says boost post.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Boosting a post costs money. I mean, it might be, you can pay $3, $5, and it'll say boost post. This post is performing better than all the other posts you posted this week or last month. Maybe you want to boost it. Pay $5. And I don't mean this, I didn't get to the sad part yet. I'll explain that in a minute. But you can pay $5 and it'll show you, based on all the algorithms, it looks like we could reach more people than you actually have liking your page. Let's say you have 100 people liking your page. You're growing this page. You're asking your friends from your profile to like your Hair's the Bling page. And now you got 100 people. But when you go and pay $5 to boost a post, you can say, I want to spend $5 and to have 1,000 people in a certain area. You can pick on a map. You can pinpoint a zip code and draw a circle: 50 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles. You can get it outside of Chicago. You can go over to a completely different state or zip code and drop a pin on a map and do a mile radius around it and ask for people in that location that are on Facebook to see. And it gets way more complicated than this, but the point is, you can pay to get people on Facebook to see your ad that are not even liking your page. That's the good and the bad of the page. The bad side, I said that's the good side. The bad side is you could have 100 friends, or let's say 1,000 friends on your Facebook page, and make a post, and only about 3 of them are going to see it. Facebook doesn't show everybody that likes your page your post every day. So the way you get more people so the way to get more people on the page to see it is 2 ways. One is pay. The other one is engagement. So if you make a post and 2 people say, I love that haircut, I love that style, if you encourage that engagement and say, thank you so much for commenting, what did you think about the length, the color, the whatever? And you get them to answer again, and you have a real conversation with them, whether it's a fake or a real one, but you have back and forth communication. Then that encourages more people to communicate. And the more people to communicate, that's when Facebook says, this person communicates a lot with this hair page. They must want to see their post. And so then you get them, next time you post, more people will see it. So you're going to either pay with your money or pay with your time. You're either going to type a lot of answers and answer every single question that comes through on your page, which you should be doing on your profile and possibly your group also. You should be answering every single comment every single day. It's not easy, but that's the currency, time or money you have to pay to get recognized. And that's how you
Now
push.
I know I understand what you're talking about, because this is where this is where the algorithm comes into play, and this is where a lot of people get confused about the algorithm. Everybody's on here and just, oh, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like my video, make sure you share it, make sure you this, make sure you that. Like, dude, everybody's begging for this crap all the time because they think that's the engagement that the algorithm's looking for. And
Right.
it comes into play
It's
to a
a part
certain
of the
effect. It's a
Yeah, it's a
part
part
of
of the
it.
puzzle. Right.
But the real thing of the engagement is the interaction between the like us as the content creator and the
Hmm.
viewer who is the consumer. How is that interaction continually moving forward? And primarily that's either done through the comment section, or that's primarily done through somebody continually clicking on or searching for specifically the videos that you're making, and then
Right.
them watching your videos. That's really what it is. So all this begging that's done on every single freaking video on every single freaking platform is so freaking annoying, you know?
It is. You know what, the ones I like is when they sound a little more sincere. I watch Tractor Mike on YouTube because I got a new tractor and I'm trying to learn some little tricks about it. And he'll say, and if you wouldn't mind, if this video really meant anything to you, it would really mean a lot to me if you subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithm, helps me get to more people. And this is part of what pays for my lifestyle, is the subscribe, the like, and the comments. So it'd mean a lot to me if you did it. I thought that's wholeheartedly explaining why, and he does that every single time. But when you're like, subscribe and like the channel, some people whisper it just to be a little weird and different. But you're right. The begging or just saying it, the monodrome, please subscribe, like, it's like, we know to do that. But you know what, Eddie? It works on some people, because my 10-year-old, every single time they say it, he subscribed to hundreds of channels on
Well,
his
he's
YouTube
10
channel.
years old. He's
I know
learning.
that.
He's just
That's
learning.
my point. It's working. So it's the algorithm. It does work. So if you say it
Well,
enough,
I
the
was
numbers
trying it for
crowd.
a while, but you told me to stop doing it.
No, I did not tell you
I
this.
say, so hit the subscribe button twice, and you told me to stop saying that.
Stop saying twice, because I subscribe and then unsubscribe. It's the like button you want people to hit twice, or the unlike button. If you hate this video, hit the unlike button twice and show us how much you hate it. Because then they will unlike, and then it will turn off the unlike, and so then it was never an unlike. That's the joke. And you're mixing it up with subscribe, so then they're subscribing and unsubscribing. So let's go into
Just like with my sayings, all my expressions, I'm always trying to keep straight. Hey, you got the
so
stick, okay?
you saw my stick.
I saw the beat stick.
It's like my fidget stick. I think it was an arrow at one time, but the weird thing is it's got a point on both ends. Just one's a little more dull, like a pencil sharpener
Why?
started it, and this,
I don't
I
even
don't know
want to
what it
start
is.
that conversation. Why would you even have an arrow of all things
I
at the
RJ
office?
RJ found it at home and brought it as a pointer, because sometimes I point on a whiteboard. I'm always looking for something long and skinny to point with. So he brought it as a pointer, and now I just like to hold it when I don't know, I just fidget with this thing.
You are
Um,
hilarious.
so listen, so when
Now, but so
go
okay,
ahead.
so then the page helps you in your direct business. The page can help you geographically within your own little vicinity, within your own little area. It could be seen by everybody, but it's really focusing more on your specific local area,
Because the profile is specific to an area, because you first
because the profile.
uh,
Okay.
you first grew your friend base locally, and then when you opened the page for your business, you populated it and asked people to like it according to your friend base, because your friend
Mhm.
list comes up and a little blue thing that says like. You're clicking the ones you want to like this page, which probably is all of them, because you want to cut all their hair. So you're asking them, and a small percentage of them will see it and go ahead and decide to like it. And if they like it, they're going to see the next few posts you make. And then as they don't comment or don't look at it for long or don't watch the video you post, they're not going to see the next post. So it's important to be consistent with your posting and your commenting. And as you ask new people to come on, you've got to do something that encourages them to interact. They have to click the like button or click the share button and share it. Like if you, and so then that's why it becomes more important to do videos over pictures. Because as they're scrolling, a video that's posted to Facebook starts playing immediately, and they'll stop and they'll view it. And that's when you get your statistics or your insights that say you got 3-second or 10-second video views. They don't have to click on it and view it and hear the words. That's why captions are so important, because people they're in church and they're scrolling and they don't want the sound to come on, or they're at work and they're looking at their phone, but they don't want the sound to come on because they might be in a restaurant or they might be at work, and they if they really like the video, they'll let it keep playing and they'll just read the captions. And then maybe they want to see it later and actually hear the words. They might save it or send it to themselves or send it to their friend or their wife so they can remember this video, or press save. There's a lot of things people will do to save the video to watch later when they want to hear it. And so the scrolling with the captions, like we're doing right now, somebody could be watching us at work but not want to play it. If we had like RJ will click the captions on in the future, and the captions will pop up on our videos in the future on YouTube.
Who wouldn't want to hear your angelic voice? What are you talking about?
They might be at work. They might be at work and they can't, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's, you got me. So what? All right. So that's the profile and that's the page. Now there's the public group, there's the private group, and then there's the CIA secret group. There's only 3. There's only a profile, a page, and a group.
No, but the groups, there is
but the page and the group could be public or private.
Oh, the page and the group can your profile be private?
I don't think it's.
But for business, that wouldn't necessarily help.
No. You kind of can. I don't think it's called, and I don't know all about social media, but I don't think it's called the same words within the profile. But you do have in the settings, there's default settings that's kind of, I'm talking mostly about default and the few little settings you're asked when you first set something up. But in a profile, yes, there are more private people that don't, like you can choose when you go to look at friends list, your friends list. Sometimes you can't see it because they have checked off, no, I don't want people to see how many friends I have. Because you can go see how many friends your friends have sometimes.
I got you.
But so some people also don't accept friends. Like you have to ask people to accept your friend request. My wife, she's very, very, I don't know, I guess I should say careful about who she accepts as friends. As a business person, I have people friend requesting me, hairdressers all over the country, and I don't know them very well. And so I blindly accept a lot of people as friends on my profile. And then sometimes I'll get some inappropriate content, and then I'm like, oh, shouldn't have accepted them. And then I'll unfriend them or delete them or block them or report them. But she doesn't even take that chance. And being a woman, she's getting a little bit more people that are just like, oh, pretty face, let me friend her. And then they start trying to date her, and she's like, oh God, I didn't want this. So she's got to be more careful as a woman with her personal profile. So she has it closed down a little more. But you can also, with your personal profile, say, I like following so-and-so. I want to see all of their posts. Please notify me when they post. So there are opening up and closing down parameters within a profile, within all of these. But generally a profile, most people, they have it pretty wide open. You can see every picture and video I post, and I want to be friends with everybody. And then within a page, it's more like a website. Now let me do another differentiation that I think will be interesting to you, because it's common in our hairdresser world is in the personal profile, what's the limitation? One limitation is actual. Go ahead.
You can only have 5,000 friends on your personal.
You can only make friends for 5,000.
That's it. That's your hugs are finite.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me. So I kind of judge my hairdressers by this. There's a hairdresser that's kind of newer, still not knowing what to think about her in the salon. Hope she's not listening right now. And I actually, my level of respect jumped up in a meeting yesterday when we're going around asking each person, because we're kind of tracking it just to show them how important it is to grow their Facebook friends, because that grows their business locally. And it was like, so how many friends do you have? And she's like, 3,300. And I was like, I'm impressed. Most local, most people on their profile, just regular people, have an average, just what I've noticed. I don't know if this is a real statistic, but an average of 300 friends, 350 friends. Are you looking up yours right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
I need more friends. Somebody come
how
on
many?
Facebook and friend me.
Right. So, most people have 200 or 300 friends. And then a few that aren't so active on Facebook might have 100, 150, or even less. And so not many people have in the thousands, but Facebook stops it at 5,000. They're like, if you get over 5,000, you're really trying to take advantage of this profile thing and you're trying to do something more like an influencer and so the first goal, if you want to be an influencer or a business person and use social media, is you want to get that maxed out. So that was my goal the middle of last year, was to think, who is my target audience? And for me, it was hairdressers, and I need to be friends with more hairdressers. And if 5,000 is the limit, I was at about 3,500 when this started. I needed to find 1,500 hairdresser friends in the appropriate places that might want to do business with me in the future, or people I could help with hair extensions or hair replacement or any of the educational classes I do. So that was my first goal on the profile side, which should be yours and any other person that wants to be an influencer. So listen to this. So this is where it gets a little confusing, because before a page was called a page, it was called and I might not have it in exact order, but I do remember when it was called a fan page. Remember when it was called a fan page?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they kind of dropped the word fan, but it was because when you got to 5,000 friends, they thought, you know what? You're more of a what would you call it? Like when a person you're a brand. Like Eddie, if 5,000 people like you, you are not just Eddie the hairdresser anymore. You're Eddie the influencer. You've got way more people than you can really serve, but we're going to let you go bigger, but you got to do a fan page now. Like people are fanboying over you. They're liking you way more than just your personal friend. And you're probably talking business at this point. You're selling something. So we're going to move you over to the business world. And so that's kind of where it started in my understanding. I might have some of those details off. But then they also started making businesses, because we had a tanning business that we bought that had a whole bunch of friends on a personal profile for Image Sun, the tanning business. Well, Facebook kept contacting us. You have to change your business profile over to a business page, and it's free for now, and it's I don't know, not mandatory just yet, but at some point it's going to be mandatory, and if you don't do it, we're just going to close you down. So they didn't want businesses having a profile. They wanted you to prove you were a real person if you had a personal profile. That's when Facebook started to separate businesses from people, but people who become influencers are now sort of a business. You're a branded business. I'm at 5,000 friends, so I opened a page named Bernard Ori. Some of my friends get confused because they friend request me as a profile, but if I'm at 5,000, it'll say you can't be friends with this person. It's a certain level of, it takes like you can't just walk up to Brad Pitt and talk to him, right? And so it's no, not easily. So not that I'm near that status, but it's that first level of, wait, I can't be friends with Bernard? He already reached his limit? So it just gives you a tiny bit of separation, like, oh, wow, he's got five. It means a lot of things to a lot of people, good or bad, whatever it is, it's a milestone. So the next thing I had to do, if anybody else wanted to know Bernard Ori, was I had to open up a fan page, which is just called a page now. So I have a Bernard Ori page, but then I also have an onstage hair extension page, a she hair extension page, as like a website holder for the brand. So, I'm a personal brand now because I can't do anything else in the profile. I can delete friends and let friends in, but I can't grow into the 10 or 20,000 followers that might want to follow me. That might be more like a Twitter thing, which is X now. But that kind of make some sense to you?
No, that makes sense. So then that makes even more sense why the groups are important. because
Yes.
that feeds off of everything you're talking about from the profile and the page. And the groups is what
Yes.
I gravitated towards. I like the
Right.
groups.
Right. So the big benefit of the page is that you can pay to play. You can get people to follow your stuff through the engagement, but you can also pay money. You can't pay in a personal profile to
Mhm.
get more people to hear you or see your message because they don't want you promoting business. And you don't promote to have friends. And then the group is weird because it was like most people are like small group of friends. They can open a business and they want a whole bunch of people to follow them, even if they don't know them or like them. They just want them to buy from them generally. And then from that website sort of situation, you pick out something inside of there, usually, and say, I'm going to start a small group. Usually the page is public, and then you start a small group of paid. Usually, this is what we did, but I didn't mean to say pay. I meant to say that's private. A private group that you invite a certain number of people. You don't have to have a page to open a group. You can be a regular profile person and say, you know what? I want to start bicycling with 4 or 5 friends, and we're going to communicate through this Facebook group. We're going to make it private so nobody else is in there unless we invite them, or if people have asked to be invited, we'll first ask them a few questions. Can you ride 20 miles a day? Do you do this? You live near us? You're in Egypt. We're in Louisiana or Chicago. You can't join our group. So the group is a special interest, like group of people to have a certain common interest between them that they communicate in. So some people take advantage of groups and have thousands of them and do use it as a business growing thing. But if you decide you want all the people in a group to see your business and more, you can't. There's no
Yeah.
paying to play. There's no boosting a post. There's no advertising. And if you make your group private, you can't even share any of the posts. So I have a private group for hair replacement and hair extensions where we talk. It's people that have paid to have classes with me or know how to do something that I know how to do, and we all want help from each other. So we show before and after pictures. We show some bald-headed scalps that of people that would not want the world to see. It's in a private group. Somebody could screenshot it and share it, and that would be really dirty.
Yeah,
But
right.
they
But that's not the intention.
Right. But they can't quickly, easily, just so they don't make a mistake if they don't understand it, they can't make a mistake and be like, oh, this is cool. I want to show my mom and hit share and then find their mom's name. You can't do it. It's just not even a button allowed because it's a private group. We're not sharing outside this group. Some people get confused and are like, I don't see the share button. I don't understand why I can't share here. It's private groups or pages don't have a share button because we don't want to share anything here. This is for the privacy of this group or page. So in our world of business, we have a Profitable Stylist Academy group that is public because that's what we use as our big net. And like anybody interested in hair or anything that we have to talk about in the hair business, follow us here. We'll give you some. Sometimes we go dive pretty deep, but usually it's pretty vague and summarized and big picture. And then if you want to learn how to do hair extensions or any one of the extensions that we teach or hair replacement or the foil highlighting techniques you talk about, that's going to be like, oh, okay, take the class. After you take the class, the online class at the academy, the Teachable Academy, then Profitable Stylist Academy.
Profitable Stylist Academy.
There you go. When you go there, take a class. Some of them are free. Then you can join one of our private groups
Our
that
private
support
groups. Yeah.
those people. And in that private group, we will share how much should we charge? How much do the products cost? I forgot my price sheet when I took the class the other day. How much does that hair cost? And I'll share different things with them, maybe even private message them. But other people in the group will also answer the questions. So that's what we use the private groups for. Public group to serve the masses that are interested, and in the private group to serve the people that pay for our services as follow-up customer service. Now, one of the big benefits that I like within a group, I don't know if you can do this on a page or not, but in a group, once per 24-hour period, you can comment on your own post. Anybody can comment, I think, but maybe it has to be an admin. I can comment on under a post the symbol at and then the word everyone. And
Oh, you have to
every
be an admin.
okay. So every single person in that group is going to see my post that day. I say see it. They're going to get a
They're going to
notification
get a
that I'm going to post.
notification.
Yeah. So most people wake up in the morning and look at their notifications. Anybody like my stuff? Anybody comment? Anybody got a question for me? And so that is equivalent to paying to get people to see your stuff on a page. But on the page, you can pay to get more people to see it than even like your page. In a group, you got to work real hard to get the people in the group, because the only people in the group are the only ones ever going to see. Now, in the beginning, when you start posting, almost everybody in the group sees it every single day. But as your group grows, then Facebook's algorithm says, well, you know what? Eddie never comments on Bernard's stuff. He scrolls right past it. He doesn't stop on it very long. He probably doesn't want to see this stuff much. We're not going to put it up in his notifications. But since he did like this group 6 years ago, if Bernard happens to say, think something's really important and he wants everyone in the group to get a notification, I can do it. Now, the risk I have is you might be like, dude, there's a reason why I didn't comment on anything over the last 6 years. Your shit's boring. So I'm going to just, I am now going to go and take the time to unlike the group. Because I
Yeah, but
haven't
if that's the case, then you want that person to drop off. You're cleaning out your
exactly.
list. No, then that's a
Man,
good
that's the
thing.
good and the bad of it. But the good thing is I might reignite your excitement. You
And
know,
then
you might
there's
be,
the other half of it. Yeah, sure.
but there's groups I've joined and I see their notifications every day. They must be doing that. And I see it and I'm like, not ready yet. Not ready yet. Oh, that was an interesting topic. I might go see that one. And I click on it and I go, but I don't dislike them enough to unlike them, because I'm like, oh, I gotta go find them and find the
Yeah,
unlike
right.
button. I just I'll just scroll right past that notification, but at least I see it in the notification. So it's a lot to just say, oh, if you want to promote your business, go open a personal profile, a page, and a group, and make sure one's public. It's a lot. I get it. So the very first goal people should have is just grow their personal profile, grow it, and be active in it and answer all the questions all the time. Try to get some interactivity going. And once you start doing a lot of communication through the profile, then you would move to the next step of starting a page, is my opinion and advice.
And then from the page, in the beginning, I thought it was going to be double work, but now that I've seen it in play, it actually makes so much more sense. Get a public group and then get a private group. And even if you need to, get multiple private groups, because then you can really hone it in on this. So from your page, you have all these people following you. You got all these people liking you and watching you and interacting with you. But if you have 5, 10, 15, 20,000 people, only 3,000 people only care about this one specific subject. We have a hair extension private group, and then we have a Hair's the Bling private group. In Hair's the Bling, I'm very active in there. I love posting formula of the week, question of the week. This is the next class I got coming up. You know, this is something happened at the salon and it made me think of something. Here's a really teachable moment. And then in the extensions group, the private extensions group, it's like, oh, here's this, hair replacement thing that we just did. Here is this hair extension thing that we just did. Here, it's very targeted with that. So it's able to organize and subdivide your customer base, I guess, or your client base, however you want to refer to it as. So groups are very, very powerful. It is not redundant, because on our Profitable Stylist Academy public group, we announced we're going live on Facebook. We're going live on YouTube on Thursday. We got this just happened. We just got this in. Come check us out. We're going to be over here. It's just publicly announcing what we got going on for the people who liked our page and want to be more connected with us. That sound about right?
Yeah. You were saying our public group, but I think you meant our public page.
No, the public group, because we do have a Profitable Stylist Academy public group.
Group also, page. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're announcing on that bigger public place, if it's a group, I meant you should be posting at everyone more often. Now listen,
on the public group, yeah,
and the private. If you post, you should always use at everyone, because you can only do it once per 24-hour period.
Okay.
So when you post, if you're posting more than once a day, it could be a problem and you might have to choose the more important post. But if you're just posting
I've
once a
been
day
pinning the posts, the ones that I think are important. I've been pinning them, so I should be doing everybody
and comment at
and
everyone.
comment.
Now
Okay.
listen, if I type just at everyone, you know how the names pop up at the top to tag. If you start typing in my name, it'll be like
Oh yeah.
well that the name of your group will pop up. Like if I start typing in at ev get EVE, then Profitable Stylist Academy pops up, and that's basically what it's doing. It's tagging the page and the group and all the people in the group. So a couple of people have commented like laughy smiley faces, like oh ha ha ha, I see what you're doing there. So I did kind of learn like, oh yeah, it is a little cheesy. That's basically me saying, hey everyone, look at my post. So I got a little more savvy with that, and I thought, what is the post about, and let me make a real genuine comment, and then just sign it at everyone. So I make that way if people read the comment, it doesn't look like I'm just trying to get everybody to see my post. I don't know, selfishly. It's more like, did you guys see the highlights? What do you guys think about the highlights on this client's hair at everyone? You see what I'm saying? So it's more like it really pertains to that post, and it's tagging everyone so they all see it in their notifications. And you might be able to do this on a page, but I'm not sure. I know you can do it in a group, but I don't think you can do the at everyone on a page. That's one thing I need to look into. I don't think so, because that's the pay to play place, and I think they want you to pay for everyone in that I was going to say in that group, but in that page to see. So that's the hardest thing in the beginning, is to get used to knowing, finishing up with the right word. I mean, we even mess it up. My wife printed a QR code to go to a hair show for people to join our public group. But you know what it says at the bottom of the QR code? Join our page. But when you click on the QR code, and I think it was my wife that messed it up, but somebody in our office, as they got this banner made, and it didn't matter because most people don't quite get the differences, but it said join our page, and most people just looked at the QR code. I want to follow Bernard. They click on it, and it goes to the group, and then they like the group, and it worked. It worked fine.
It ended up working fine. Yeah.
It works fine, but it's funny. I try to be very precise with my words, because it helps me differentiate where we are: the profile, the page, the group, the personal, the website, the special interests. That's kind of how I divide them in my head. And then within each one, they have their advantages and disadvantages. 5,000 max, communication, friendly. Website, list your services, pay if you want people to see your posts. Group, public or private, but generally the biggest advantage there is everybody sees your post in the beginning. If you want them all to see it, at everyone. That's the big differences, but communicate across the board to all three all the time.
It's important. It helps grow your business, and it evolves to then being able to have the marketplace. You can sell stuff, you can sell services that you're offering, you can create more events, you can organize everybody. Social media is a free form of advertising to a certain effect, and you're casting out.
Cost you some time.
Right. It really is. It costs you some time. If you use it in a correct way and in a positive way, it costs you a little bit of time, but it's better than going to the post office and putting together a 3,000 piece mailing to send it to the neighborhood.
Right.
It's better than otherwise you got to save up $5,000-$10,000 and shoot a 30-second commercial, and then spend another $10,000-$20,000 to get a local ad campaign to be on a commercial, on the TV channels and stuff like that.
Right.
You're only one person. You can go do an event at church. You can go do an event at the VFW hall. You could go do an event at the library. There's only 7 days in a week. So you can only do 7 events a day, or unless you're going to kill yourself and do multiple events a day. But again, you're only in one place a day. So you only hit 7 places a week. Or if you're doing 2 events a day, you're only 14 times a week that you got seen. Whereas on social media, you could be seen thousands of times immediately. So that there is, and I'm not saying choose one over the other. I'm saying it all does have an aspect. If you look at like a pie chart, they all have their place in that piece of the pie. And that's something that I've learned about social media over the years, that done correctly, done positively, it could be very beneficial. I mean, look at two guys chat. We started off as, hey, we got to start doing social media. You want to do it together? Yeah, sure. How do you want to do it? I'm not doing it, Bernard. You're like, okay, come on. We'll do this. We'll do this, podcast thing. You could do a podcast, and it started off as that, and it's grown into, having Casper and Comment now just chilling and being mascots. Casper finally woke up.
Yeah, this is their life. It's a hard life. I mean,
it's a hard life. Well, you should take them for a walk then and wake them up a little bit.
Yeah, the two guys chat. I remember. I'm like, who's gonna watch us?
Who's gonna watch us? We're just gonna do it for ourselves. It's an excuse to get together.
The good thing was we enjoy talking to each other, so if nobody watched, it didn't really matter. And now it's growing into something.
That's how it started.
But it's growing.
It's awesome. So yeah, leave us a comment section. Find me on Facebook, Eddie Ohanian. Become my friend. I need a hug, I guess.
Please like and subscribe to our channel.
And then no, don't do that. And then ask Bernard to kick one of his 5,000 friends so you can become one of his friends.
I think I'm 4 short right now. I think you can get in.
And then don't hit subscribe twice, I guess. Only did it 3 times or 4 times.
I gotta go to the bathroom so bad.
I keep messing with everybody with this thing.
Bye, everyone.
I'm never gonna ask for it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all next week.